Good day to you, my esoteric craft-loving friend. Here's another Orgonite Pyramid video for your enjoyment. If you should venture and make your own resin art, always wear a mask to protect you from the volatile organic compounds in resin, even the inodorous kind. Mix the two-part resin thoroughly for at least 5 minutes, then let it rest to allow the air bubbles to escape for another 5. I like to pre-warm the two parts and then keep it on the heater while it rests. Since I'm going for a chakra rainbow gemstone effect, I started with the crystal quartz and the purple amethyst chips at the top, then I slipped in a layer of copper powder mixed with resin. This is my third big resin pyramid, and I have learned since to add more metal layers between the resin layers to make the orgonite more effective at removing the EMFs and keeping the energy moving. Just a small metal layer between the top gemstone layers. Looking back, I wish I had not put in the copper drips in this one, but alas, I do not yet have the power to turn back time. For the second pyramid that I made, I was going for a steampunk post-apocalyptic aesthetic, and the drips looked great in that one. I also wanted to have a large central quartz crystal, and I wrapped it in a 12-gauge copper wire, as it enhances the energy flow in the piece. I cut the copper wire to the length of half of an Egyptian royal cubit at approximately 10 inches and then wrapped the quartz so that when standing upright it would be in a clockwise direction upwards. Wrapping the crystal was also helpful to suspend it straight down in the middle and not fall over while I added another layer of resin to hold it in place. When that was all cured after a few days, I started adding in the blue stones, starting with the deep blue lapis lazuli, which has been associated with royalty, strength, courage, wisdom, and intellect. Then I added the light and translucent aquamarine chips. A stone of symmetry is blue and reflective. Aquamarine is said to be both of the sea and the sky. Shamans use stones of symmetry like this one because they allowed us to look both inward and outward. Then, as the color starts to shift toward blue-green, enter magnesite with its calming and soothing energy that can bring emotional balance and tranquility and help us attain the true ataraxia that we all strive for. After the blue layer has fully cured, it is time to add another layer of copper resin mixture, and after mixing thoroughly, I use the pipette to carefully apply an even layer. I allow this layer to fully cure. The only slightly annoying thing about making large resin pieces such as this is the waiting period in between, which is a bit of a snag when you just want to get it done. I started on this pyramid in December. It was supposed to be a Christmas present, but I only finished it sometime in February. I made it for someone who loves elephants, so I wanted to put some elephants in it. So these are the little elephants that my husband 3D printed for me, and since they were so small, they had some imperfections that I did my best to fix with damp air dry clay, which worked pretty well. Then I painted them with acrylics. Medium gray as a base coat, then I covered them with a black wash and I blotted the excess paint from the surface, only leaving it in the recessed areas for extra realism. After that dried, I dry brushed the coat of light gray to enhance the texture of the elephant's skin. To ensure that the elephants are upright and even, I decided to attach them to a base, so I just happened to have this round obsidian plate that I had bought together with the Platonic Solids gemstone kit a while ago. While I already used the Platonic Solids gems for a Metatron's cube painting, I still had this plate to use. I used resin to attach these little labradorite cabochons as I wanted to avoid any tarnishes that using glue might cause. Then I attached the elephants to the base and set it aside for later use. Back to the gemstone layer. With its yellowish-green olivine beauty, peridot is one of the few gemstones that occur in only one color, olive green. This friendly bright green stone also has the uncanny ability to inspire eloquence and creativity. It also brings delight and good cheer. Next, citrine, an absolute power stone, energizing on all levels. It increases self-confidence and stimulates creativity, enthusiasm, and joy. Citrine is the stone of the mind, stimulating the brain, increasing concentration, strengthening the intellect, and increasing psychic powers. Citrine is believed to invite wealth and prosperity into your life. Due to its abundance of qualities, citrine has been called the lucky merchant stone. Is there anything citrine can't do? Then I use some amber for the yellow-orange layer, which is a kind of fossilized tree resin whose ability to produce static electricity has fascinated observers since ancient times. For red, I use this red agate, a stone of strength whose fiery red hue symbolizes a surge of life force energy. Then I added another layer of copper shavings for the red layer. You can buy gems in bulk, like I purchased the aquamarine chips and the amber a while ago for some different projects. And the little chips in the bottles came from Michael's, you know, the arts and crafts store. I'm quite the gemstone aficionado, if you haven't noticed, and I like to add to my collection whenever given the opportunity. As you saw, I added the gems and the resin little by little, in order to minimize the amount of air bubbles trapped in the resin. After that layer cured, it is time to add the elephant layer, and I just laid it upside down as evenly as I could, and I just filled the area with resin and let it cure for a couple of days. For the bottom of the pyramid, I wanted it to be black or relatively dark and full of metal. So I got this black iron oxide powder, which I mixed with resin to create the bottom layers. It's the first time I ever used black iron oxide, and it worked pretty well. There were a lot of air bubbles when mixing it with resin, but stirring for several minutes and mixing it thoroughly allowed all the air bubbles to escape, and if there were any bubbles after pouring it in the mold, I just spritzed with a little alcohol, and that popped the rest of the bubbles. I've also purchased some shungite for this pyramid, a remarkable black stone that has been used as a curative agent and natural water purifier for centuries. It's said as shungite holds ancient energy, wisdom, and information, so it's the perfect stone to help you uncover the cosmic messages you've been waiting for. There are also claims that it may help shield you from the electromagnetic field exposure, so it's a perfect addition for an orgonite. Then to finish it off, some more crystal quartz to amplify everything. You can never have too much quartz, that's what I always say. Then I added the final layers of metal-filled resin. I added a generous layer at first and then decided to just go with it and fill it all the way to ensure that there was enough metal to resin ratio. I like to pour the resin quite slowly and from all sides to fill in all the possible crevices between the stones. I forgot to mention that I'm using the last of my liquid glass 2-part resin, and I liked it for the fact that it's slow drying, so it allows me a long working time. It doesn't get very hot, and it has very few to no bubbles. Now, I didn't exactly measure the amount of metal powder I put in the resin, but I can tell you that it is heavy, much heavier than if it was just resin. In retrospect, I do wish that I had not put in those copper drips, but as they say, you live and you learn. I'll know for the next time. Since one single orgonite takes so long to do and is all about the mixing little bits of resin at once, I actually made 2 or 3 at a time, so I'll have a nice and dripless one to show you for next time when I get to editing that video. In the meantime, I hope you have enjoyed the process of making an elephant chakra gemstone orgonite pyramid, and if you did, go ahead and like that smash button and subscribe to my channel. Don't forget about the bell too. Laura Dreams signing out, and until the next time, stay creative and trust the flow, my friend.